What's up, guys? Josh here with another Minecraft video. And today, we're gonna be telling you on how you can find and raid a trial chamber. These structures are released in 1.21. If you're in the future, please tell me what structures and other things they've added. I need to know. And I'm here to explain to you. Shut up! And I'm here to explain to you on how you can raid the trial chambers if you've lost your memory on how to and how the vaults have worked then and everything. So I'm going to spawn into a taiga, and since I really need to just show you guys, so you can find these structures hidden underground randomly. You can trade with cartographers to get the trial chamber map. I usually use spectator mode to go find these structures. And they are a little bit of a greenish orange color when you see them, and they're very cubic. And they usually spawn at the negative levels. They're basically like strongholds, but made of copper. They are pretty difficult to find if you don't know how. So that's why I'm using spectator. This is your last resort. Do not use this if you're in a survival world you've played for years. So, we came over to the lush cave. This is a nice lush cave, actually. And this isn't really where we could find any trial chambers. They do spawn pretty easily if you get lucky. Mineshafts can also spawn close by, replacing them. So if you find a mineshaft that stretches for miles, then you're going to need to keep moving, because mineshafts basically just make it so no trial chambers spawn at all. So you're just fighting around for your life just to find a tough brick covered building underground. So like I said, these things spawn under deep slate or very close to deep slate. Not like near bedrock deep slate, like not here. They spawn a little higher than this, like right around here. Right around this area. You can look around a little. If you see mine shafts, just pass right by them. They don't really matter. And when you do find one, you will be able to continue. Okay, back to the trial chambers. So I found one. It took me a couple minutes. I used a website called Chunkbase to do it. Then I'm going to go in the trial chambers and let me guide you around, and if you don't know how they work, let me show you. So let's start over in this corridor area that leads into this room right here. This is the room from the thumbnail of the trailer. You might know it. This is a breeze spawning room. So the breeze spawns in this little thing, and corresponding to the different mobs, you will see a different block representing it. If you see a spiraled, chiseled tuff, you know it is a breeze. And you can also find this out by looking in the spawner and seeing the mob. You can see a breeze in there. That means there's a breeze spawner right there. Now, they're called trial spawners for a reason. If you kill them, they'll drop loot. This is a bogged spawner. You might think it's like a skeleton spawner, but it's bogged because of the mushrooms and the bone blocks. You can look inside, you can see bogs inside. And there's another spawner for bogs right here, because you can tell it's the pattern with bone blocks and mushrooms. You can go over here. There's a bunch of these different dispensers. The chests usually don't have anything inside of them. And if you want to fight them, you can. You might want wind charges. You might want a bunch of stuff. And all of these different dispensers have different items, like flame charges or fire charges. And some of them also have water buckets and stuff. This one still has another charge. Okay, so we're going to get to the vaults in a second. And we got this right here. It's an arrow. I'm pretty sure it's just a normal one. And if you go up these stairs, they don't really lead to anywhere important except for out of the room, basically. And now they also have this area. Let's go to the next room right here. So this is a spider spawner because there's no other blocks underneath the webs. This is a silverfish spawner, I'm pretty sure. A zombie spawner. Yeah, this is a zombie spawner. And these barrels and stuff and the pots, if you break them without silk touch, they'll drop an item. Like if I break them with my bare fists, you get iron. If you break this, you get more iron. If you break this, you get a trial key, which we'll explain the trial keys later. But in the meantime, let's go on to our next chapter of the area, which are the vaults. Okay, so vaults are a block that can drop items. So when you beat a breeze spawner, I'm pretty sure, like this isn't a breeze spawner. We're in another room, the snow room at the bottom. Well, breeze spawners, they can spawn a trial key. They'll drop off the top of them, and you can pick them up and open up the vault. There's two vault variants. This vault, the normal vault, it gave me a bolt armor trim and a couple of arrows. And they are probably got, like, before the snapshots... Shut up! Before the snapshots and previews for Bedrock and Java and stuff, they made vaults the normal version of the vault. They also have more of they had barrels and stuff. Like if you haven't beaten the game yet, you can get ender pearls for free here without having to fight off any endermen. And they can also drop arrows and stuff. So the vault, they are a very weird kind of block. Like some of them can spawn in the weirdest places, like above this flooring. They can spawn a lot of stuff like wind charges and honey bottles if you're hungry. So wind charges can propel you into the air with max velocity, about 8 blocks at max. And they are pretty useful in case you need to knock back mobs. And okay, so sorry. Let's explain the other kind of vault. You can get the normal trial key from killing off normal mobs in the trial chambers, but from killing off the ominous trials, you can get this key from the ominous spawners called ominous trial keys. So they always spawn ominous vaults before ominous trials start, and this gives you better items than the normal vault. Like it gives you different armor trims, diamonds, arrows, and it's a pretty cool different vault. Some of them can even give you the heavy core, which is a very, very useful thing in the game. So, like, they usually spawn on top of different podiums throughout the entirety. Like here, they spawn on this, like, little ritual table. You open them up, they give you different things. And usually, these would be very hard to find or even get to because they are very high up sometimes. But if you have wind charges and stuff, like, and it's 2 blocks tall, just jump up with them and you'll be able to get into the vaults with ease. Now let's go on to one more thing about the trial chambers. I just wanted to make sure you knew about this. I need to find the way out of this room real quick because Minecraft made it difficult to get out of specific rooms. I'm pretty sure that's back here. Yep. So, there are tons and tons of rooms throughout the entire structure, consisting of new rooms like rooms like the snow room right here that give you different spawners and stuff, vaults, chests, and everything in between. Usually these structures can get big and small. Some of the structures, like this room right here, this is like the main room that you see in the thumbnail of the trailer, or the, not the thumbnail of the trailers. You see these within the title screen. You saw this before the video started. And some people are complaining that the trial chambers are missing a ladder right here, which I can see why they're complaining, because it's pretty weird that they forgot the ladder over here, but not here. I think it was just an error before the game released with this new update. Now, sometimes, usually this specific spawner in the main room usually has a mace item known as the heavy core. If they don't, there's still tons of other things, like, I broke that on accident. I meant to do that. It gave me a Ominous 5, a bottle with Battleman 5, and a Piercing 2 crossbow. I kind of feel bad for doing that. Yeah, and also, this room has a chance of having trial keys in chests and arrows most of the time. If they don't have trial keys, it's fine. There's a vault all the way up here. I mean, you need a trial key to open it, but it's still nice to have a vault just sitting here for you to loot from, like if you need food, emeralds, in case you want to make a trading haul. Be my guest, this place is your daily dose of loot. And also, let me explain to you one more thing before we tell you how you can get, and let's just explain the blocks next. Just explain the blocks. Okay, so these are some of the blocks that have been exclusively released to 1.21, such as a couple of new tough blocks, like the tough stair, slab, wall, chiseled tough, polished slab, polished tough stair, polished tough slab, polished tough wall, tough bricks, tough brick stairs, tough brick slabs, tough brick wall, and I think this is a tough brick, chisel polished tough, I think. I don't know. This is a trial spawner right here. This is a vault, and these are some copper grates. They have different variations. This is a different variation, copper door, copper trap door, and we got the heavy core, which is used to craft the mace, the crafter, the chiseled copper, and the copper bulb, which is probably one of my favorite new light sources. Because if you place some redstone right next to it, like that, like this, it turns on and won't turn off, which is cool. Because it holds the redstone permanently. And the cool thing about that too is you grab a honeycomb right here, you put it on this, and it will pop, and it will wax, meaning it will stay this color for probably ever until you run it with an axe. And I have an axe here. You could just do that, and it's taken care of. And to oxidize it over time, like, you can grab it from the construction section if you're in Bedrock. Then the lowest rated one is this one, which is right here. You place it down, you get redstone. It's pretty dim because it has oxidized for some time. If you get another axe, like we're going to do, you can turn it back into the same one as this one right here, because it will get brighter as you add more and more of these different ones. It's melting all the snow. This isn't good. I don't know. Other than that, the block here, we're going to turn this off. And this is a cool block. I like it, in my opinion. It's a pretty sweet looking thing. I believe this is cool. All the new items are cool. And that is how the trial chambers work. They'll spawn occasionally. You can get trial keys from the spawners after you defeat them. You can also get the mace, which is this monstrosity right here. You can, basically, the higher you fall, the more damage it does. So, like, if I can find a mob, like, I could spawn a mob, like a pig, for example. Like I grab a pig spawn egg, or the first thing that comes up. I mean, not the chicken. The pig spawn egg. We'll place it down here. You basically have your own way to MLG without water or hay bales or beds or anything like that. You can MLG with a weapon. Watch. So let's just go about here. You can do this. Not that. I missed it. That. Oh my gosh, I gotta stop missing. If you do this, it'll do a big explosion animation. And you can also put enchantments on this thing. So, like, I can grab these new enchantments. Like, these 3 enchantments have been added to the game, such as Breach, which is an enchantment that basically makes it so whenever you can basically, the lower you fall, the more damage it does to mobs with armor. If you have density right here, it does more damage the lower you are to the ground. And if you have Wind Burst, which goes to level 3, it makes it so when you hit a mob, you go flying into the air. So I'm going to get a Wind Burst book. I'm going to get a Density book. And you can also put a couple other stuff like Unbreaking, Mending. You can also put a pretty good one too, like Fire Respect, which is nice. And I'm going to enchant it all, and I'm going to show you how it works with all these enchantments. So I'm just going to place my thing down here, and then let's combine the books real quick. Fire Respect and Wind Burst. Density and Unbreaking. Let's put Density Unbreaking with Mending. Density Unbreaking, Mending with Fire Respect and Wind Burst gets a 5 enchantments. Then you put these together to get the 5 enchantments on your mace, and you can name the mace, which is cool and everything. I'm going to change the time, and I'm going to spawn another pig and show you how it works. Again, it's a pretty cool weapon. So spawned a pig. Now let's go about up here. This will work, and we could also just go flat out for other pigs, like this, basically. So you slam on their heads, and you go flying into the air with much velocity, which is cool. Like, I like just messing with this mechanic with wardens and stuff. Like, I could just spawn a bunch of pigs on the ground. Like, don't cause a bit too much lag. Then you go into the air, and then you just hit the pigs. And then individually you will get a bunch of XP. The cool thing about having Wind Burst, so the reason we're going super high in the air is because of Wind Burst. It only goes to level 3, Breach goes to level 2, and since you can't really put armor on a pig, it's pretty much useless to us. So this thing now does from 5 damage, still 5 damage because we've applied Fire Respect to it, which does more damage over time, which is like a poison thing. And then we have free cooked pork chop. And I'm sorry, pigs, but you had to die for an experiment, and it's still worth it, baby. Hang on, it's still worth it, baby. Like, look at the animation. You can't tell me that's not cool. Anyways, that is the video. Bye.